Hello again. This is Rochelle from CableCrack.com with another video tutorial about the difference between a Firestick and an Android device. So what is the difference between a Firestick loaded with KODI and an Android box loaded with KODI? For this demonstration, I'm going to compare an X96 Android device with the same capacity of a Firestick, which is 1 GB RAM and 8 GB ROM. They both utilize remote controls, which comes with the devices. They both plug into HDMI ports on your TV. They both have to be plugged into an electrical outlet. They both can be loaded with KODI, and they both require Wi-Fi. So let's look at the remotes first. There's a little bit of a difference as where the buttons lie on each remote, but they both have the same functionality. They all have a home button that takes you to the main screen, back buttons that allow you to back up between screens. They have a menu button, which is called an options button. They give you some additional options. They both have rewind, pause, play, forward buttons. They both have the OK button. On the X96 remote, it is clearly marked OK. And on the Firestick remote, it's just that big round button that you see on the screen there. The X96 does have a KODI button, which allows you to access KODI straight from the remote, whereas the Firestick doesn't have that. The way you would get to KODI with a Firestick remote is you would just locate the icon on the screen and then press the OK button instead. And the X96 remote has a power button, okay, and some extra buttons. But for the most part, for KODI, all the buttons you need are on both remotes. And just note that when you're in KODI, the Alexi attribute on the Firestick, that's where you can talk and Alexi will find stuff for you. That is not compatible with your KODI, okay? So that only works with the Amazon apps that are preloaded to the Firestick. Now, the differences here will probably be more of what you would be looking for when you're trying to figure out which one is the device that you would want to buy. So both devices, when they're jailbroken, they have KODI on it. There's no difference there. As far as loading the KODI to jailbreak each device, the method is different. With a Firestick, you have to upload ES Explorer. And on X96 box, you would have Google Play, which is already loaded to the X96 box. And that's how you would load KODI to your device. As far as the Wi-Fi, the Firestick only uses Wi-Fi only. It has no additional ports to plug anything in but the power source. And on the X96 box, it has additional ports. It has 2 USB ports, an Ethernet port, TF port, an optical port, an AV port, and an IR port. What's important to that is that the 2 USB ports can be utilized to attach a keyboard and a mouse to it. And that's really good if you're going to utilize the box to be able to access a Chrome browser, on your TV. Instead of using a computer, you can use that. You could, go through your browser and go to different websites from your TV screen. The Ethernet port is important if you want to maximize your Wi-Fi speed. So whenever you connect directly with a cord to your router, you will get the maximum power of the Wi-Fi speed coming into the router. When you use Wi-Fi, the speed is diminished because it's not directly hooked up. And depending on how far away your device is from the router, that will always minimize the speed. And also if it has to go through walls, if it has to travel through obstacles, the Wi-Fi signal is going to be less. Okay, and this is important just for the better the speed, the better optimization of how your device is going to run, which basically equals, less buffering and faster processing times. Okay, as far as the screens, the Firestick has preloaded Amazon apps. and because it is a Amazon product, and those Amazon apps and programming are available to their Prime members, so that's free with their membership. If you're not really buying the Fire Stick for that and you're buying it for KODI, then the X96 is the same thing because it has KODI loaded onto it. But in addition to KODI, it has Google Play Store, it has a Google Chrome browser, but it has all of the most popular apps loaded onto it, as well as Netflix and YouTube. And you can add any app that's compatible with Android devices. Also note, the Fire Stick can be paired with a wireless Bluetooth keyboard. So that's using the Bluetooth technology to connect to a keyboard versus using a USB port, which the Fire Stick doesn't have. So you can use a keyboard also with the Fire Stick. And lastly, let's just look at the screens. The key is KODI. They both have it. And from the differences I referenced prior, that will determine which one is more, which would be a better purchase for you. So when you're choosing a device, you want to look at the capacity of the device. Remember, a Fire Stick is 1 gig RAM, 8 gig ROM, but Android boxes can come with more capacity. So you can buy Android boxes that have 2 gig, 16 gig, 4 gig, and 32 gig, and probably even more. So the more memory, the less buffering, and the faster processing. And then also, the differences between Fire Sticks and Android boxes is, of course, that Fire Stick is an Amazon product. It does have Amazon programming available to it for its Prime members. So if that's important to you, Fire Stick is the way to go. And if that isn't important to you and you just want a box that can allow you to access the internet, you can use a keyboard and a mouse, and you can directly connect your box to a router that increases the Wi-Fi speed capability, then the X96 is probably the box for you. Hopefully this is helpful. Again, this is from cablecrack.com. Please tell your friends about cablecrack.com if they're interested in purchasing a KODI device. And if you don't have an online streaming device in this day and age, you're bugging.